to start off our week on our month appropriately, since this is our first episode for the month, we're going to talk about previews for the month of January. Just some things that we saw coming out this month that I think look just great and really cool or fun, and just give any sort of comments on them before moving along. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll even get to see us paste covers and even panels of each of these as we talk about them. If you're not watching on YouTube, then you won't see that because you're just using your ears.
You see it in mind.
Yeah, you can imagine
Previews
it.
is for stuff coming out in 2 months. So
Oh, I pulled up all January stuff.
Oh, January. Oh, crap. Okay. Well, I'm confused then. Okay. All right. I will
Oh.
look for previews stuff for this month.
I looked for this month, but I do want to get on top of all those other things.
Okay.
That's my bad, James.
All right. No problem.
Well, and I didn't even pull mine from previews. I pulled them from what's coming out this week. So.
Yeah, I
It
pulled mine
seems that-
from James's website. That's what I got my stuff from.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate everyone on our complete breakdown of any sort of communication.
Well, if Tom followed my link, that's probably previews January 2022, the pre-order catalog. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's probably looking at what I was thinking. So let me pull up the.
I did that and League of the League website as well.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean,
No, that's fine. The purpose is to talk about cool stuff coming out soon.
it'll come out eventually.
So or it won't.
Oh,
But
okay.
hopefully it will. If it's in previews, it
I think
will.
mine comes out this week.
I'm gonna pivot.
Oh yes. Anyways, well, let's go ahead and we'll get started. And since I've been talking a ton, who wants to start us off? Holy shit, guys! Come on.
Hold on.
I'm like
I'm going.
Here, so hang on.
I'm going in the order of the notes, and you did everything first in the notes, so I'm having to scroll. So give me a moment.
I was reading about. I was looking at books that were coming out, and I'm really wanting to read this book called The Last Session. I guess like book 2 comes out this week,
Yeah.
And the premise sounds like something that one I'd experience in real life, but 2 like really be into reading about. It's like a D&D group's like last time to play together, and so they're trying to finish an unfinished session that they like started way back, like it was like their first game. But one of them brings a significant other that is like stalling the game. It's like she's kind of I think just changing the chemistry, and another character I think is having a hard time dealing with that. And so that just sounded like a great book that I was like, oh, I really want to read that.
It sounds like a cool exploration of that dynamic too.
Yeah, that's on my list as well.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I was excited about that. And I couldn't remember if it almost seems like I talked about the first issue of that before, but maybe I just thought about it. But yeah, I thought that looked great. One of the ones I thought looked good was called Rain. Issue 1 is coming out, and it's written by Joe Hill, who is wonderful, and also David M. Boer, who I don't know who that is, but I'm sure he's great too. Yeah. But the art is crazy beautiful. The art is by Zoe Thorogood, and it's about these people who just are living life, and then all of a sudden it starts raining down like sharp, like splintery things from the sky, which is a weird premise. That's really all it says. That's all it says about it. So I don't know, it sounded weird, and yep.
Yeah, that sounds. Joe Hill. I mean, it's Joe Hill. Obviously, is not obviously. Joe Hill, in case you don't know, is the son of Stephen King and has been known to write other such graphics. One of his most popular, I believe, is The Cape,
And Lock
which were
and
both
Key.
limited series, and Lock and Key.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's also pretty popular. I guess if you call that popular.
It has a Netflix adaptation. I guess it's popular.
That'll
It's
do
okay.
it. And then Megan, what's this last one?
It's called Rockabilly Monsters, And this is written by Jose Cruz and with art by Sergio Rios. And I'm just going to read you the blurb. Candy, a girl who seeks to solve the mysterious disappearance of her family by chance of fate, is involved with a group of monsters of different races: a wolf, a vampire, Frankenstein's monster, and a sea creature. Together, they will form a unique alliance and put aside their rivalry of 100 years, which will take them to the very ends of reality when they try to stop the arrival of an ancestral evil force to our earthly plane.
That's cool. Is it like a it because of the name? Is it like a tongue-in-cheek style thing? Can you tell yet?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Or I don't know. What? Oh gosh, what was that '80s film about the monsters and the kids? Oh, I'm blanking.
What?
The '80s film about like the classic monsters and there's kids. The Monster Squad.
Monster
What?
Squad.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is kind of making me think of the Monster Squad a little bit. I love that movie.
Yeah, me too. That was a fun movie, man.
That's a really good one. Like a Monster Goonies.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah,
James,
yeah,
you got
very.
anything this month?
Let's see.
Here, I'll go ahead and go while you look since I messed up on communicating it with everybody. Uh, so I have a pretty long list, so I'm just going to go through it pretty quickly. I have started looking back at DC books again for the first time in a year since the Death Metal event. So the new Batman series is looking really, really good to me. Odin's Eye from Bad Idea number 4 and 5 are coming out this month. And if you haven't read this yet, again, Bad Idea books are not getting digital editions. They're not getting reprints. It's now or never. But Odin's Eye has been, I think, the best book they've put out yet. I love this story. It's about a young girl who is having seizures, but they might be caused by Odin. But there's a lot of possibility that it's mental illness. It's complicated, but it's beautiful and it's very, very good. I started picking up the new weekly Batman Detective Comics series again, which is starting a new arc uh, with about Arkham Tower. Arkham Asylum's been destroyed, so now there's this tower in the middle of the city. Which, even though they're the beginning of it puts it out there like, oh, like it's safe now. If you really believe that Arkham anything is safe, you've never read a Batman book. I'm sure something terrible is going to happen. Robin and Batman by number 3 comes out this month by Jeff Lemire, and it's his look at the early days of Dick Grayson training to be Robin. A new series, Batgirls, number 2 comes out this month. We get a couple more Power Rangers books this month. If you aren't reading the Power Rangers series because you think that Power Rangers is terribly written, you're right about the shows. But these comics are incredible and you should check them out. There's a new Brian Michael Bendis event, Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes. I'm really, really hoping that this is going to be very good because the Legion of Superheroes have really struggled to stick around for like the last 15 years now. They keep disappearing and reappearing and then getting used and forgotten. It's kind of a mess. Um, Buffy, the Last Vampire Slayer, a post-apocalyptic Buffy story, starts.
That sounds
Looks super
yeah,
sweet.
That sounds tight.
Also, Tom Taylor, who he's responsible for Deceased and the Injustice comics, has taken over Nightwing. And I got the first issue recently. It's very good. I can't wait to see what he does with Nightwing. Sorry, I'm going to go through the rest of these as quick as possible.
Dang, yeah, you have
DC
so
versus
many.
I have so many. DC versus Vampires number 4. I know this is not everybody's bag, but if you give me an alternate like universe tale of Justice League superheroes dealing with some sort of threat, this time it's vampires. I'm in. It looks great. Task Force Z number 3 and 4. Is still coming out. It's about Jason Todd leading a team of zombie villains. Again, more of my weird particular things that I love. Let's see. I saw this and I hadn't seen this book yet. I guess I haven't picked it up, but it's called Elvira Meets Vincent Price. And so I guess if you're a fan of Vincent Price horror or Elvira, Queen of Darkness, I believe, is her official title. This looks like a really cool book for you. Another alternate universe Justice League title, Dark Knights of Steel, which is a medieval fantasy series with DC characters. Um, and then last on here that I want to talk about is Inferno #4, which is the end of Jonathan Hickman's run on X-Men. X-Men the last couple years has been incredible. Jonathan Hickman has had an amazing plan. I'm super upset that he's leaving because he had a long-term plan for the X-Men, but he is finishing out with Inferno #4 before we get the next phase of what's happening in X-Men. And I think it's the best thing that's been done with X-Men since the 90s. Not that I've read a ton of X-Men, but like that seems to be the consensus. It's such good stuff. So there is my list. I have shot my shot out there into the world. James, did you find anything?
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised I didn't remember this, but Saga is returning.
What?
Wow.
Returning
Oh, I
this
forgot.
month.
That's amazing.
Everybody is, really excited about that.
Yes.
Also have some new vault books coming. One of which is End After End, which looks really great, about a guy who has lived an unremarkable life, but ends up dying and then waking up in the midst of a fantasy war, and that looks really good. I know
Yeah, I
that
like
there's
that.
also some other vault titles. The Rush continues. I've also been really. I picked up Matt Kent's new book, Apache Delivery Service.
Yes,
It came
same.
out this week, and it is a fantastic book. Uh, it's really hard to describe the genres that that Matt Kent operates in, because it's a sort of a war book with elements of horror, and it's it has sort of a apocalypse now feel to it also, in that it's about a journey through the Vietnam jungles during the Vietnam War. This time it looks like it's going to involve a treasure hunt, but
Yeah.
um,
There's a weird mixture of things all happening in that book. I'm hoping he can maintain um the book seems to be dealing with racism because it's the Vietnam War, but it's about a Native American man in that war,
yeah, who
but then also like the treasure hunt
yeah,
and
yeah, he sort of has to endure you know some ribbing from his fellow soldiers about his ethnic background. Just the title of the book in itself sort of reflects that, in that everybody calls him
Mhm.
their Apache scout, but he's actually, I believe he said he was Navajo,
Mhm.
and
Which when he said that I was like, oh shit, wait a
yeah, you can see
like
people doing that,
yeah,
and
absolutely. Well, and they attribute a lot of stereotypes to him. They're like, "Oh, you're so good because of your Apache training and shit
yeah,
like that."
yeah, they sort of like project all those cultural assumptions upon him, and so he really seems to feel more at home in the jungle, uh, and you know he ends up getting sent out on a mission, and things kind of get turned on their head a bit, and he ends up it from what I could tell just from reading the what was going to be coming down the pipe. It seems like that it's going to be a bit of a treasure hunt, along with some horror elements. So
Yeah, because there seems to be a killer
yeah,
stalking people
yeah,
there as
yeah, in
well,
the
like
jungle.
taking advantage of the war front to potentially like satiate their own like murderous
Yeah,
desires. there's so much going on in that
Yeah,
book
it
in one
is.
issue already.
Yeah, and what's great about it is that it sort of like unfolds pretty naturally. You know, a lot of times whenever you have stuff kind of thrown in like that, you end up with a lot of unnecessary narration or you know, a lot of word balloons and such inserted in that ends up kind of detracting from the overall story. But this unfolds really naturally, and Tyler Jenkins's artwork, you don't want to have a lot of excess verbiage on top of his work, because his artwork is absolutely spectacular in this book. Uh, it was a really great book. Um, I'm really looking forward to where it goes next.
Yeah, I picked it up just because Matt Kent's name was on it.
Yeah.
And I think you had mentioned it after I'd picked it up that you were going to suggest it this week at the shop. And I was like, oh, great. Like, this should be good then. And it is. And you're right about, like, I think a lot of writers make that mistake where they think they have to have the characters say everything or they have to have the thought squares. And that's not what happens here. Clearly, the writer and artist are working very well together for those moments.
That's great.